We have had the revolution and now we are fat. Pleasure is never enough. You may call me Eatman. I was a glutton for many years. Today, our evolution lags behind technical progress. Our food experience has hardly changed for the last thousands of years. Our relationship to food is to blame for our obesity. It's not because of bad ecology. It's not because you're wrong or sick. In fact, everything is fine with you. People who lived more than 200 years ago with an ideal ecology suddenly, on average, lived no more than 30 years. We have the cult of food. Our meals are a source of pleasure. So many people lose their mind in front of food. And they will fight in the pastry shop for the final piece of strawberry cheesecake, and the winner will devour it on the battlefield. We can completely refuse to enjoy food because of biology. In the animal world, there is always the strongest male eats the most delicious piece of the prey. It's normal. Even your dog will choose more delicious food. This is a biological program for the survival of any species. But it was okay when humankind's food supply was low. For millions of years, tribes fought for fertile lands and delicious food. For the millions of years, there wasn't enough food. And the food was like a reward, a source of pleasure and essential for survival. Any being will be striving for pleasure because of biology and evolution. Because of this, we survived, and because of this, obesity shortens our lives. Does it make sense in the 21st century? We no longer live with a lack of food. We don't live with a lack of delicious food anymore. Just imagine, any homeless person can go to the local grocery shop and buy a few cheapest candies. And the taste of these candies would be mind-blowing for a person from Middle Ages or even 100 years ago. The food is always available now. Our agricultural and food industries are progressing much faster than our biological mechanisms. But there is another reason – traditions. All the nations have harvest festivals. People like to get together for drinking alcohol, eating and even overeating. This is a sacred ritual, because when an ancient tribe got their prey, it means it will survive. Healthy and strong children will be born, and vice versa. If there was a bad harvest, tribes were dying out. And because of this, historically we perceive food as something precious and sacred. Does it make sense for you in the 21st century? No, we no longer live with a lack of food. We won't starve to death as long as we have a grocery store near us. And there is no reason for doing a harvest festival with your friends every Friday in the diner or restaurant. Our great-grandparents could have problems with food availability, especially if they lived during the First or Second World War. And the most delicious food for them was the piece of old bread. So our parents were brought up like this. Here's your chocolate bar for good grades. You helped your mom? Here's your cookie. And so on. Any holiday, of course, we need a big delicious cake. Yes, we need more cakes. It was normal when some simple cake was the most delicious food for our ancestors. Is it normal now, in the 21st century? Does it make sense now? You know the answer. But there is another reason why we are overeating. Marketing. From all sides we hear, don't deny yourself small pleasures. Eat this burger, 73% tastier, 35% juicier. Eat these fries and forget about your problems. We have got used to it. Advertising began to invite our heads and we haven't even noticed it. You need to understand, marketing just wants your money. Selling cheap junk food for more has become an art. If every third customer will order more fries or bigger burger, companies will earn millions. And you will earn only fat and health problems. Eat this, eat that, try this, don't stop with one piece of that chocolate bar. Have you tried our new menu? Oh, you forgot about our snacks. You won't be able to stop eating our potato chips. And now ask yourself, was it necessary before the 21st century? Can you imagine food advertising 200 years ago? Despite the fact that there is no need to hunt food anymore, these marketing monsters are putting pressure on us. They make people stuff their faces. Then they offer you weird and useless exercise equipment. You buy and try it, and when you're already fat and upset, They invite you for a liposuction. Bingo! They have their money and you have your health problems. So if you want to completely change your life, if you want to have real pleasure from life, you need to understand it's the 21st century. There is enough food for everyone. You can live without harvest festivals, you can live without overeating, you can make eating a background process. Realize your food addiction. I had a food addiction too, but don't restrict yourself. We can't completely refuse to enjoy food. It's normal, but change your food experience. Just reduce in importance. If it weren't possible, I wouldn't be standing here and I would still suffer from refusing tasty cakes because of another silly diet. I have a mission. This channel must completely change your food experience. Completely. Now you are taking pleasure in eating, and eating overshadows everything in your life. The cult of food. Damn it, you should start taking pleasure 24/7 in new smaller clothes. You don't have to suffer and sweat when you climb the stairs. You must set the right example for your kids. Overeating and mega delicious food shouldn't be a top priority. Eating must be a background process. Some might even say, come on, you can eat healthy and you can eat tasty food as much as you want. No, if you don't have excellent genetics which will compensate your junk food, you will continue to eat more and tastier. Sooner or later you will get obesity and health problems. If it were possible to eat delicious food and not gain weight, diabetes and cardiovascular diseases, sick people with obesity would not exist. If healthy food were as delicious as cakes and snacks, no one would eat junk food, no one would overeat. But if you perceive food as one of the main sources of pleasure, remember, pleasure is never enough. You always want more and more. And if you have an eating disorder, as I had, you will definitely try to eat more and tastier, until you change your food experience. So ask people with obesity and diabetes, was junk food and overeating worth it? Are they happy now? Yes, you can say, I accept myself as I am, but it doesn't cancel health problems you will gain in the future. You just bring more money for food corporations. You're just an unnecessary cog, which they will use and throw away. When I was fat, I had serious sleep problem, high blood pressure and low self-esteem. And I wouldn't exchange my excellent health for gluttony. But I remind you, don't restrict yourself, don't limit your pleasure. I eat 5 times a day. I really like to eat. I like my simple food and I get pleasure from it. But for me, it's a background process. Just shift your focus and addiction from food to another interest. When you change your food experience and lose your weight, you will understand that walking in the park and riding bikes with your family gives you much more pleasure than going to fast food every weekend. Maybe you will build a custom motorcycle or start making fancy dresses if you free your head from food obsession. Don't make my or my parents' mistakes. There were no limit in food for me when I was growing. I eliminated all the candies, jam, bakery, cookies that were at home. I had problems with my stomach, but it didn't stop me. And no one talked to me about my food obsession, no one explained me how my body works, and no one set me the right example. Don't restrict your children, just show them how it's done. We don't live in the 21st century to go crazy about food. You should take the best of your life. And as I always say, there is no point in living for deliciously eating and deliciously pooping. You will start your new life on Monday, and you won't quit on Tuesday. I promise you. Stay with us and eat wisely, ladies and gentlemen. Progressing. Progressing. We won't starve to death before, as long as in the animal world there is the strongest, the strong. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Can go to the local. There is no and buy a few cheapest candies. We no longer